Welcome, bro. Welcome to the basement again.
But what were you saying though?
Oh, you just want to start off with it, man. Content, it's like really important to catch someone within the first 5 seconds. If you don't catch them in that, you might miss a super dope thing that you have to do. So
Yeah.
I
mean, it's just all. I like where we've been with it though. Of okay, maybe this one is fine. Going forward, maybe change, but don't change this one. Just let this one ride. That's what you've really been on.
You got to. I think that's another thing too. Is you can get so perfectionist about something that you don't do it. Like me setting up this camera, like me doing all this shit. Sometimes you gotta just let it go. Just come on, let's roll. Let's get going.
Yeah.
Let's get moving because it's important. Almost more important to get out content than it is to overthink. It's cool. You did that one.
Yeah.
Put it out. Now you know for the next one. Don't allow it to be damn, this one sucks, because it doesn't suck. That's not what I'm saying. And some people can get really, dude. Everybody though, it's not even you. It's as a society with certain things of creativity. When someone tells us something, we can take it so personally that we don't actually hear someone of what they're saying. You know.
I actually thought about that on the way here. Something just popped in my head about some work I had done. For someone photography wise, and I just hadn't heard anything from them lately, and I'm what if they really do end up using someone else and don't use mine? That doesn't, just realizing that has a lot to do with me. And then I'm kind of going in my whole rabbit hole. First off, it's amazing how in 1 second you can have a whole rabbit hole of thoughts immediately, but
easily,
I digress. But yeah, just going in my rabbit hole, music stuff, features and people I've worked with, and maybe they use this, maybe they didn't use this, whatever. And it's yeah, man, all I can do is put my best foot forward. If people don't use it or like it, my reaction to that is on me, because I can always just get better.
That's it.
It doesn't mean, but I think I've always been a little insecure in the sense of let me throw it on them. It's well, maybe I just needed to do better. Maybe it wasn't for them. Whatever, man. You could just go back and forth on it forever.
Yeah, I feel that's what this game is, man. It's quantity over quality sometimes, but through that quantity of work, you get the quality slowly, and it just gets better and better if you allow yourself. Because there are some people that just do the same thing over and over again. I just had a talk with Lorenzo. There's this kid that'll post the same video every single day on TikTok. It's the same song, the same video of him sitting in his studio. And he'll record himself every day wearing something different, but it's the same song, and it's the same paragraph that he has with the text. And he's got 10,000 followers. But my thing is my argument to not do that would be he's not getting better at making content. He's just making the same thing. Yeah, he's getting more followers, but what does that mean? He's never going to teach himself how to get really good at something. And then when he actually gets a certain following, it's that's all he knows how to do.
Yeah.
You know,
you know
what I mean?
Yeah, I think about it a lot, man. It's got to be a balance, right? It just has to be a balance of I would love to get one of those kids that's really making a lot of numbers on TikTok in a room with us and just pick their brain. How are you? Is it luck? Are they just doing the mindless? There's one kid I follow, and he literally does the same deal, posts the same concept video every day. It probably takes him 2 seconds to make the video, though. Is he going back and then actually, is he just very disciplined that he can take 15 minutes out of his day to just do this? Is that what it is?
I think it's just a little bit of both. It's some people get lucky, like you and me, that are actually super creative. We can't. I feel we're people who just cannot do the same thing every single day. We'll drive ourselves nuts, and it's easy. It's super easy, and you're yeah, I can just pump this out. But something about our brains, I think, is just it's too creative to do things in the same way, and TikTok rewards that in a lot of ways. But there's the other argument of you could have a creative post that's where I think for the game that we're playing, we have to be more lucky. Whereas a person who's playing that game of the same content every day, they don't have to be lucky because TikTok actually likes that. I just can't do that personally.
Well, that's what you were just telling me about the DJ video I just showed you, over just being, you hate to say too creative, because
It's
But
like
yeah,
you
like
have to conform.
overdoing
You
it
have
to
to
a degree.
conform to an extent, right? Because you want to do it in your own way. You want to be individualistic, but it's like you gotta bite to an extent because this TikTok algorithm likes things of this nature, looking like this. But you don't want to do it to an extent where you lose yourself, and then you have to be someone totally different because that's not cool.
Yeah.
Like we just want to be ourselves, bro. I don't know, man. Anyways, I digress. What are your plans, man? So 2023 is almost upon us.
Yep.
You must have some goals. You must have some things. I mean, you dropped an album called Michael. I mean, I personally, and I say selfishly, and it's not even my work, but
Yeah.
I want to talk about that because I feel like we haven't had a chance to. But I really want to know, like, how that's affected you this year. You know, you lost your mom. You know, all these things that have
Yeah.
affected you personally, but you say there's a bar in there, man, that I'm listening today, and it's funny how you listen to something, you hear it differently, right? You say, worst year of my life on paper, but I'm still up. Best year of my life for learning to keep my chin up.
It's
And
my favorite thing I've ever wrote, man.
So on paper, it's a really bad year, but this year has taught you a lot on who you are, because when you're down, you really got to figure shit out. So I guess I'm asking you a loaded question of, like, what does all that mean in perspective of 2022, and where does that bring you for next year?
Yeah, to just build off that line, that's what this year was for me. Like, on paper, it should have just been, it should have fucking killed me, man. It should have been the one that just did me in. Like, you know what I mean? It's been, you know, years and years of both of us, man, like grinding at this shit and like doing this stuff. Anybody that knows, like, not even just music, but a passion you're going at, you know, for, I can only speak on myself, but it's been since I was 16, I'm 29 now. So it's been 13 years of just like going at it, on top of obviously like personal stuff. So, it's been that building up to this year. It's almost felt like my whole life built up to this, and I knew going into my 29th year, something about it just felt like the night that I turned 29 was like 29 is going to be very important. Like I just knew it. I was going through a breakup at the time, and you know, it was like an on and off cycle, so we were off at the time, and so I was alone and just kind of thinking about it, and I knew it just felt in my gut that that it was going to be very important. And as the years gone on, you know, my, like we were saying, like my mom passed, I had a kitten pass, did eventually part ways with an ex permanently, and yeah, my car got totaled, like just a fucking laundry list of things. But it's almost felt like a lot of weight that 29 years is built up, and it's just been an incredible year. Like I wouldn't trade this year for anything. Like obviously I want my mom back.
Of course, man.
But I know my mom, in a way, she's just given me so many signs that are like, I can just tell, like she is very much here guiding me, giving me the strength. It almost feels like, in a way, she's helping me do what she always wished that she did. You know what I mean? And I think in a weird way, I do want to go see a medium eventually, because it feels like she is sending me a lot of signs, and in a weird way, I almost feel like she is like the only way she was gonna right her wrongs was to do it through me. It really feels like that. My sister and I have talked about that. Friends and I have talked about that, and I can see so many. My mom's mom passed when she was 29. My mom passed when I was 29.
Yeah.
So it just is very eerie, in an amazing way. Like my mom, me and her,
To teach you how to get your chin up.
to teach me how to get my chin up,
Keep it
and my mom, I look at her life, and she was just the things that people tell me about me. A lot of people at her funeral told me about her, and I could see the parallels to me and hers, and I saw my whole life of like personality things, and it just feels like my mom is really like I said, just to build off the mom thing, but like obviously I would want my mom back, but I know she
Yeah.
wouldn't trade this for anything because I know that she sees and she is with me. The
Yeah.
changes I've really made to grow through everything. Just like even.
But well, let me
Yeah.
just say this.
Yep.
You say in that second verse of Fallback Plan, which I think is like the most important verse of the whole entire thing, and it was
Yeah.
one of the last ones, if I'm
It was
correct,
the
right?
last thing I wrote. Yeah.
Last thing you wrote. And the other thing you say right before that is like, no more trying to fight the inevitable. And I think a lot of times we're trying to fight against the inevitable, thinking that that's the thing that we need to grow, right? We're like, we don't want to be this way, that we see other people that we know of, that we love, that are like, and we see us attaching to them. We're like, nah, we fight it. But once the moment we accept it is when we can actually make change.
Yeah.
And I feel like this whole album, I'm talking about one spot, but a lot of it is just accepting your situation, who you are, everything that's happened into your life from here to now. And I think that's taken a lot, like this album has taken a lot of weight almost off of,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
sense
man.
that. I sense
Yeah,
that, you
man.
know?
Yeah, man. It's been a ride of a year, man. You've been there with me the whole journey. And it's been amazing. Yeah, it's been a lot of accepting. There's a lot of bars on there. Certain ones stick out to me. 80s basement, I got a bar. Just I don't even think I rhyme it with anything. I'm like, I got a validation
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
I got a lot of goddamn problems. Like
Yes.
just
I
shit
remember
like that. You know, to flip it to my mom, to flip it to my ex, like I got nothing but love and appreciation for my ex because man,
Yeah.
I couldn't realize a lot of these things without her. She really brought a lot of things to light. And then even after the split, she helped me. She planted some seeds of things that I needed to go back in my memory bag and my reflective bag. And all those seeds they've just grown, especially on conversations with me and you on the phone of getting to that place of like,
Yeah.
even just I've been saying to myself about a lot of things. I'm like, I would like this to come into my life, but I don't need it anymore. And I think whether it's the album, whether it's just been everything this year, I feel like before I was a very needy person. I needed things. That was my backbone, was really like falling back on things or leaning back on things. And now it's like through really, and you said it to me the night the album came out, it's like this is the Michael era.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ever since the Michael era, I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. Like I can be
Yeah.
the one that I don't need to call Zach. How many times have we had on the phone?
Yep.
We'll talk after a couple days and be like, we get so pumped up, like this thing happened and I didn't need to call you about
That's
it.
it.
You know
That's
what I mean?
it.
So
Yeah.
those little moments, man, of like being able to like, or I told you I'm driving to Washington and I'm like, yeah, man, I took like an hour out to like not even listen to music and just like sit there with myself. And you're like, damn. And that's like the moments.
Mhm.
Those are the most proud moments. Like it's not putting the album out. It's like literally just being able to like these little
the personal goals,
little
and the little
changes
achievements.
that
Yeah.
make me like, I look in the mirror and
That's
I'm like,
beautiful.
I don't have to like convince myself anymore. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, you're the man. Like you're the
You know,
fucking man.
And
you
I
know?
feel like going through this process of this album is very reflective of that. And I just want people to understand like the genius of Mike O'Leary in the sense of like the way you painted with the lyrics, the delivery, all that. Like
that means a lot.
I feel like County was just so beautiful in the sense of you paint the whole picture. You kind of give a nice general sense of where your life's at. And then all the memories, Top of the Mountain, Fallback Plan, 80s Basement, all four of them are super deep, super like in your face, like trying to figure out some shit, right?
Yeah.
But then you hit Need You Now, which is ironic because you're like, you don't want to need anybody, you want to need yourself.
Yeah,
and you got this song that's almost like I don't know, like an 80s, like cheesy, like no more parties to go to. And it's just so, it's like lighthearted. And it's like the fact you go from these 4 tracks where you're really talking like these really deep things and you kind of have this breather moment. And it's like, I Need You Now. And I mean, I almost take it personally, like you're talking about I need you, but you're like talking about yourself in a way.
It's
I don't know
funny.
if that's what you meant.
We've also brought that up, like certain things you write at the time you might mean one way and then it does come to the light. It's like, holy fuck, like
yeah.
like that's happening because I wrote, like, this got talked into existence in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there is so many bars on the album I'll go back and listen to. It was early October, first week of October. It was like a week after I had like totaled my whip, and I just was like living so fast after my mom had passed, after the breakup, just kind of avoiding feeling everything.
Yeah.
Thought I was. I've always been like a big, like, because we can sit down and I can say all these things on a microphone, like I must be feeling my emotions and realizing like that doesn't mean I'm really feeling.
Take
them,
notes,
bro.
artists. Take notes.
That doesn't mean I'm really feeling this shit. Like I need.
It's deeper than rap, is what you're saying.
It was just deeper than rap, bro. It's deeper than put an album out. Like I had to really take a step back. So I really started going through, my mother's passing, breakup. Like I said, I had a kitten pass. Honestly, rest in peace, Moody. Like that shit hit the deepest. Like out of every night I had that I like cried myself to sleep.
Yeah.
The night that my cat died, that shit, like
That's
he's just
tough.
a baby, man. So Moody, I love you. Munchie, I love you. Lucy,
Mike O'Leary loves his cats.
I
man.
really love my cats. Lucy, baby, I love you, man.
That's it, man.
But so early October, I really felt like I started the grieving process, and I remember being on the phone with you one round. I was supposed to go to Pittsburgh to see Rex Life Raj.
Oh yeah, that got canceled, right?
It
Is
got
that what happened?
yeah, and so I'm supposed to go see Rex, and I got this Airbnb booked in Pittsburgh, and I'm like, should I still go? Like, I was kind of talking myself into it, like, you should go, like, don't be a huge bitch, like, you can go
Yeah.
sit in the car, and I just decided, like, man, I don't have the strength, which has also been another thing, is like learning, like, bro, don't like talk to yourself nicer. Like, it's
Yeah.
okay that you don't have the strength to go sit in the car for 5 hours there, 5 hours back.
For sure.
Like, let's take a baby step. So I remember being on the phone with you and being like, bro, it's a beautiful day. It's 70 degrees outside. Like, literally go take a run, listen to your album. The answer's in there. And I put that shit on, and all these lines are hitting me like, I wrote this about one thing, and man, does it fit even better today.
Yeah.
A year later, it fits even better. It's the perfect puzzle piece. And that was the day I realized, I wish I remembered what day it was. I have it in my phone because I've been keeping like a video journal throughout the year.
Right.
But that was the day it was like, I can do this. Like before that, I was like, holy fuck, like I'm gonna have a mental breakdown. Like I really felt like that, and that was the day I was like, it wasn't the album has the answers. It's like, well, I wrote the album, so I have the answers.
Yes.
Like it's inside of me,
Deep.
but I have to trust myself.
And this is why we have said that this is going to be called Deeper Than Rap.
It's deeper than rap.
It's deeper
man.
than rap, and this is why I think I said a couple podcasts ago, I said, you know, we had that thing, you're like, hey, I'm okay with being called a rapper. But, like, it's cool to be called a rapper, but this is where it's deeper than rap. It's deeper than you being a rapper. You're a full-on artist. You're not every artist is spitting their soul. Like, they have the lit, you know, party tracks. They have the deeper tracks. Like, you have everything on a whole different spectrum. I know there's a part of the album where you're like, man, I haven't had a song yet where we're just talking that shit on the hook. You and 80, and shout out 80. We need to break down the process you have with him. I'd love to do that too. But
It's my brother,
I
man.
mean,
It's my brother, man.
I
fucking
yeah.
sat in that basement with his ass. We're crying.
But
like,
you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a little bit different than just being a rapper, and it's deeper than rap. And I think that's kind of the whole theme of what I was talking about before. Of like, there's not to like, you know, just talk our shit and be like, oh, we're better than we're not. Like, it's okay to just be a I'm not saying it's not okay to be a rapper. It's okay to just do that shit. But like, we do a lot more, and people don't even realize it. Like, and that's what I think this is so important to do these talks, is because like, then people are like, oh my gosh, that's what the album meant. That's what was going on. They're missing things. Like, we don't live in a world that's like really allows us to sit down with a piece of work.
Yeah.
And like I said, dude, I got way more out of it just today listening to it at the gym. And it's been out for how long now? And I'm like, it feels still new to me. And there's not many albums that you can say do that.
I mean, that's that album right there, man, is like, it's just everything to me. Like, and I kind of stopped promo on it because like my whip got totaled, and like I said, it was like once the car, I'm sitting there and fucking traffic and my airbags are all off, and like figuratively and physically I had to slow down. Like
For sure.
I slowed down, and I was like, you know what,
Which
man?
is okay.
And I was from the beginning. I was like, I need to put this album out for me. Like I can't just go on my notes and like play these. I need it to. I just love the experience of just pressing the first song and letting that shit just run through, and
Yeah.
you know what? And it truly has been like I've dabbled with like, man, do I go hard with it again? I'm not sure what is gonna happen with it, but I do. I'm like, man, I did the right thing. Like I put this out for me.
Yep.
I got it off my shoulders, and the people closest to me, like you, like if that's who it gets to, it's the first thing I've ever done in my life where I'm like, I've genuinely learned. And it maybe not the first day I put it out, I was like, I'm okay with this doing nothing, but I've gotten to the place I'm like, this really is for me and my people. Like this is it. Like they know me a lot more. Like Bianca, I can tell like the way she looks me in the eye now. She's like, since that album came out, it's like she knows me a lot more.
For sure, man. And the conversations it opens up, even in these contexts, deeper than rap.
Yeah,
and
man. You can't make that, like, you just can't make that. You just can't make that unless you go through some shit. And so I'm very proud of it. And I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I'm excited for.
But that's courageous, because there's a lot of people that go through shit and won't be able to even tackle the shit that they go through. Like, think about the courage it takes to put it on wax.
Yeah,
that's the shit that I love. That's where our favorite artists do. I mean, shout out Mac and rest in peace, Mac. I mean, he was one of the greatest at doing that. You know, it's like carrying the torch of like keeping it real, like on 100.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Mac. Like,
seriously.
Honestly, I feel like I couldn't make an album like this without a Mac.
I was gonna say, you feel like you're a mix of Drake and Mac. Like, where, you know what I mean? I've always thought that. I'm like, you know, he's got like a 50-50 thing going on. He's got a little bit of the influence of both. You got a lot of influences from everything.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's both of them for sure. Like, I love Drizzy, especially early Drake, man. Like, that's probably the reason I cry so much, man. Like, shit just really hits me, man. Like, I've always just been very
Don't be so soft, dude. I hate when people say that.
Yeah, man. What they used to call my boy, man. They used to be, what's the fucking Charmin? Nah, man. I used to see all the Twitter jokes about him, but
yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know. Yeah, Mac, Drake, so many more, man. It's just music's just amazing, bro. Like, it's not even just them. I just hear so many amazing things out there now. I feel like I'm not really attached to artists lately. It's been just very much like just going in playlists and just letting shit go, man. There's just so much amazing shit out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I do. I mean, this is kind of bringing it back full circle to TikTok. I feel like in this generation of the artists that we like to like put our soul on wax and stuff and really focus on that, it takes a lot of mental energy. It takes a lot of like just to go through that process. It takes our process away from the content creation. I feel like the world is not set up properly for our type of music. I feel like a lot of the people that I see just really going big, and this is not in the world of like Rex Life Raj and like all these guys. There are still guys that make it, but I'm saying like the people who really, the world is set up for a little more of like, I don't want to say shallow because I feel like that's a negative connotation. I'm just trying to make sense of like, if you're really about the craft and then you having to make, 3 TikToks a day to blow up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's not set up for the artist. Like, and I think of just like, there's a shout out Goldie Scott. She's this artist. She kind of has like an Adele vibe, like old soul. She's bringing in all these different type of, influences. Like, she's super, super talented. But it's like the world we've inhabited in this day and age makes it really tough for someone who's like ridiculously talented to make it sometimes, because it's like, it's not just about talent. It's about content. Like, that's the only thing that this society takes seriously sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
you put out an album like Michael, like The Awakening Theory.
At the same time, man, we went in a basement a couple weeks ago, and I did Fall Back Plan, which is like, that's my favorite song off the album, and probably it's like that or own reflection is like like the most, you know what I
Of
mean?
course,
Like,
they're the deepest to
like
you.
the deepest too.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. I love to hear
And
that.
we did fallback plan, and we're in a basement full of college kids who all grew up in that type of era. And dude, they stopped though. Like they, you know what I mean?
I don't even
Like,
mean I don't even mean that the music doesn't hit. I think the music still hits, and it hits just as hard.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like being able to get it out there. I'm always thinking like that.
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
you made it for yourself.
Okay,
but
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
getting it out there is definitely like once people find it, they really like that type of shit. Like they that's what they stick with.
Yeah.
But finding it is
If
you're not looking for it, like I'm out there being a DJ and shit like that.
Yeah.
And just like fuck DJing, like just being an avid music lover of like
Right.
always enjoying who's the next person, who can I find that I can get in the car and play, like forget the DJing part, literally just getting in the car and being like,
So
yo, you heard this, or like putting something on my story and someone being like, damn, like that shit's crazy.
You do you have Spotify or you don't?
I do have, Bianca and I have like a joint one or something like that.
Do you use it a lot? Like, does your Spotify represent like all your listening habits, or are you kind of on cross-platform all around, whatever?
Yeah, I use Apple.
You use Apple.
Yeah,
That's your main.
Apple.
So did you check like how many minutes you listen and all that? Did you
not
go
yet.
on it yet?
I will.
Yeah, I only listen to 8,000 minutes. Like, there's some kids out there who listen like 162,000 minutes, and I'm like,
and you were your top. So like, talk about that, because I think that's a really interesting thing. I remember Wayne. Like, I loved Wayne. You know, I could go back. Like, that was one of the first guys I was like, I need to rap because of this guy.
right.
And I remember him having a doc or an interview or something, and he was like, I only listen to me. And so go into that. Is that
people misunderstand it. They take it as like it's vanity or like but really I'm just like, dude, it's kind of weird. And I just figured this out recently. It's like anytime I see someone like a post about a song that I have put out, I or like a couple people, it's not like every single time, but it's like a lot of the times I'm like, oh, you know, this kid Ethan liked my post. I wonder what he's thinking when he listens to my music. So then I'll listen to it and I'll be thinking of his perspective. Like, I'm always thinking of other people's perspectives when I'm listening to my music. Or if someone randomly hits me up with a text or a DM, they're like, I love this. I'll listen to it and I'll envision other people and how they're enjoying it. It's which is exact opposite to me of like vanity, and like I'm trying to picture like how this fits into someone's lifestyle, and it might be the I don't know if it's the businessman in me, if it's like just the excitement that it gives me of like, oh man, this is like, I don't know how they look when they're listening to it, but I'm just trying to picture that. And I'm constantly doing that. Just like my content. Like, I don't think my content's any different. If I go on Instagram, make a dope post, you don't know how many times I play my spam post over and over again. But like, I'm restudying it.
I think it's okay to like be proud of like
that's
what
it.
you did.
But I also feel like it's a feedback loop of like, I study it and then I'm like, I really enjoy these parts and then I don't like these parts, and like the little tweaks I could make to make it better. Like, I'm just constantly studying.
What is very unsaid too about studying the videos that I notice I do, like the movements that you do in a video.
Yeah.
Very unsaid part of like being an artist or a performer or whatever, but like,
right.
Dude, like your movements, like that shit is important, bro. That sells the song. Like, you know what I mean? There's certain guys. I'm trying to think of someone off top. Dude, Kendrick just put one out, The Rich Spirit, the way he like moves.
Dude,
Kendrick's very good at moving.
Dude, this whole thing with the Mr. Morale thing, I went and saw him on tour, and like he's got this whole like character that he's playing out where he's like a little more rigid, but he's like, it's all purposeful. Everything's
yes, it is. Yes,
with
it is.
purpose. And you're right, movement is a part of the art. I feel like I've picked up on like a lot of your movements live, and I feel like I've been influenced by them in ways. You know what I mean? Or I'll be like, oh, this, and like he'll put his foot up on the speaker. I'm like, that was sick.
I'm not gonna lie.
Little things like that.
I'm trying to think. I picked that from someone, but I remember the moment I saw it, and I was like, that shit's fucking tight.
It's just, it's so simple. Like, no one would think, oh, he just put his foot on the speaker.
But it makes you look very like, when you do it, there's something about it. It's not even making yourself look like you're genuinely like, I feel so in control. Like, I don't know. And like,
it's
body movements.
Well, they say body language is like 85% of communication.
Yeah,
right?
hell yeah.
If you can't sell it like that, if we're just like sitting there like this, you know, like if you're moving around, if you own it's owning your space at the end of the day, right?
You know who I got watching Jay? I watch a lot of Jay-Z live performances. Jay's movements, his arm movements, the way he does shit. I don't know. He's very good at it, and it sells you on his live show. And that shit's very important.
This is game right now, by the way.
Also, like,
that's
in your videos, like, study that shit.
Yeah.
Like, people, I remember someone coming at me one time.
I'm always looking at myself.
Because I was looking at myself, and they could hear me, like, replaying this video over and over and over. And maybe a little bit as I'm looking at myself, and I'm like, am I cute?
Of course. Well, there's also the insecurity of it.
Yeah,
there's the
absolutely.
loving it. There's the vanity. There's the insecurity. There's the stuff. There's like a mix of things,
For
right?
For sure.
But I also think of the sense of like sporting events, right? A football team plays a game at the end. What are they doing all week? They're watching game film. They're watching themselves to make sure they can they're studying their craft. That's what we're doing. You know what I mean? Some people don't get that, and they're like, "Dude, he just listens to himself. That's so stupid." It's like you don't understand. Like you're not if you don't get the importance of that, you know. So
even more so, like listening to yourself, even more so than like watching the videos, but listening to yourself.
Yeah,
you gotta see where you're like. You got to listen to it with different ears. You got to listen to it in this environment, this environment, this environment.
100%.
At this time of day. Like, that shit is all important.
And that's so true. And that's another thing, dude, is like, all right, I'm sleepy. I'm going to bed. I'm waking up in the morning. I'm at the gym. I'm in the car. It's like, and then I'm an engineer as well. So people don't understand that, like, I'm also mixing my shit. So I want to make sure, is the bass overriding my voice? Does this sound good together? Should I bring up the brightness of my vocals? Like, I'm doing more than just like my delivery, which is, did I say this properly? How do I like my rhyme scheme, right? Like, is this fit in this part, right? Like, should I stop this here? But I'm also thinking about the brightness of my voice, how that is affected with the whole beat. Like, not everybody's doing all that and wearing all those hats. So I think it all the more reason makes me listen even more than what a normal person would,
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
But I won't stop.
Well, talk to me about last time we talked, Awakening Theory came out, and like it's really you do a great job of bringing a project to life as time goes. So talk to me about just like from May to right now, like you got 1,000 followers on TikTok, able to go live now, and just talk to me about just like as we kind of recap the year a little bit for you.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So I'm actually, I didn't tell you this, I'm like 32 streams away from Oh Yeah, She's Right also hitting 1K. So
how many off that project is that now?
So the Who Do You Think You Are, Jasmine Milner is now past 1,000. I don't know why that is.
Really?
Again, there's some weird, I don't know what it is. Like maybe someone was just like, hitting it hard, but so Firstborn has passed 1,000. War has passed 1,000. Oh Yeah, She's Right is close to 1,000, and then that one. So and I feel like You Feel It 2.5 has to be close. If Oh Yeah, She's Right. I didn't actually check that yet, but almost all of, and that was kind of my vision and my goal for all this was just to get past 1,000, because Spotify has the thing where they don't show you the streams until it's past 1,000. That's just kind of like the initial goal with this project was just to like the soft push of like my following. But not really a soft push. I'm going hard, and and whatever. But it's been great, that. I passed 10K streams for the year,
which is amazing.
That was a big.
So
thing.
3K last year, 10 now.
Yeah, so that's more than doubled, more than tripled, yeah, man, it's just that's going up. The TikTok with the 1K followers, I can go live now. It's all been a slow grind, but it's been a beautiful grind because it's like it teaches me patience, and it allows me to keep growing and just be excited about these things, man. Like I feel like some people blow up so early and they don't know what to do and they're like, what the hell? And then they fumble the bag. The thing is, I know exactly what I have to do, and I've grounded myself in the work. I work so hard. It's like once I'm there, it's like, well, I'm not leaving at all. There's a lot of kids like they don't follow. That's the big thing, and I listened to Armani Blanco talk about it with his Billie Eilish thing. Actually, I think it was him. Look at that spider, dude. That is huge.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw it a little bit ago.
I'm sorry, buddy. That was freaking huge. I had it. God rest his soul.
I'm just not gonna wipe it up.
I
It's just on
we
the
will
rug.
we will after this.
Okay.
All right. You know what? Fine, dude. You happy now?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm leaving. I'm out. It's my house. No, but yeah. So Armani Blanco drops Billie Eilish, and the thing that he has to do after dropping Billie Eilish, the big thing, is dropping the next one. Like being quick on it, because that's how you become just stuck in that that world of just that one song. It's like you have to have the things to follow it up. And I think no, you know who was talking about it? It wasn't Armani. It was Russ. Russ was talking about it on TikTok. He's like, the reason people blow up and fall off is because they don't have that follow-up song that's also dope.
yeah.
They have that one song that's super sick that gets 1 million views, gets 1 million streams, and it's like, where's the next one? You got to hit them when the iron is hot. You got and my thing is like, I mean, you've heard some of the shit I got. I'm just like, I'm ready. I
Yeah,
definitely
man.
have.
I actually had that written down about just songs you have in the vault because I know what they are, but
Yeah.
you know, talk to you got a photos joint with Nazi, which is really dope.
Get my photo with Nazi. I got Attention, which is just some straight barring up and like the way it flips. I'm gonna do a beat flip in there, by the way, because the beat flip we did with the Drop It Like It's Hot live. I know you don't know what we're talking about, but I feel like it does need a beat flip that I produce in there just to keep it fresh, because it's just straight 32 bars. It's like you need something to freshen it up there. And then and then the I Will Survive. I think that honestly, when I think about my TikTok journey and like actually hitting it, like I feel like that's the content piece when you talk about having to do something over and over and over again for TikTok to work for you. I feel like that's something that I could keep doing over and has viral potential of like hearing that I Will Survive, me constantly being like, Gloria, clear the sampling, and just like annoying the fuck out of her. I can't wait to just keep in her DMs because that's what I've been doing. But as things get viral and start blowing up, and telling like people on those posts, like, yo, like everybody flood Gloria's DMs, like we got to get this sample cleared.
Yeah,
that's a great story, and I feel like it's something that a lot of people can attach to. Of like, will he ever get the sample cleared? You know, and it's like, even if I don't, I feel like that's a great like part of my story, and to keep people engaged and whatever. And then on top of it, all these other songs, and the other one, the kicker, Why Don't You Text Me Back? You know, I got a lot of shit, and I'm not even. I think I'm definitely forgetting about things. But that's kind of what I'm saying is like, I hold these close to the chest. I don't want to just drop them all on you, because it's like, dude, I can hit you with some spam content. You're still gonna be engaged. You're still gonna be like, this is freaking great, and then you'll be reminded of like, oh yeah, he's got an album out. Boom. Go back to Awakening Theory. Keep living in that world for a little bit. I'll get another song out in the next whatever. But like, I really want these joints ready for when there's some like virality going on where I'm like, okay, boom, I got to really focus on these. I got to have these ready in the arsenal in the tuck. Boom, they're all completely mixed, mastered, whatever. Because that's the other thing I struggle with is I have like 6, 7 joints and they're all like kind of incomplete. Like, that's kind of what Awakening Theory was until me and Lorenzo went in and kind of went through everything in this basement right here, man. And that was this last year.
Remember, it was around this time, yeah.
This time last year, we were doing that. So I feel like I'm getting to that same stage of right now of like I got all these incomplete songs again. I don't want to release them as an album. I want to release them as singles because it's a singles game, you know. And I feel like a lot of these songs are like their own entities. So, and then maybe drop a compilation album of those at the end of the year. With maybe like 1 or 2 songs at the end that are new. But even then, man, I hate to like waste a couple of songs in an album where I'm just like, well, I could have just dropped that as a single and like kept the momentum going for a whole nother month with that.
Yeah, I like albums a lot personally.
Me too.
I like the experience.
I want to get to the point where I have so many people invested in listening to a Zach G project though, because it's really hard to get, like you said, we can get our base, and I just have this goal in my own mind of like, man, I know there's more people that are supposed to hear this, you know, in my heart of hearts. And so, I mean, that's why the TikTok grind, that's why the lives, and that's why I'm trying to do that every single night and be more consistent. And these goals, and they're bigger than the numbers at the end of the day. I said it on my post. It's like what I want is like the depth with people. I want people to feel those things. And I do want to touch more people as well, so I feel like it's this middle ground. And I feel like this year has been a lot for that.
Yeah.
I did exactly that this year. I got that middle ground of like, I have the really depth people like, yeah, Zach G cares. Zach G loves this, and I respect the shit out of him because of how hard he works.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I want to scale that just so I can like make this my full-time, the thing that I can do, where it's like I can be financially secure, I can buy a house, I can support my family, I can give back to the community, like all those things, really open up a studio. There's all these things I'd love to do that I just can't because I don't have the funds. But I want, time is money. I want my time to be in music, and that means I need to make money off of music. So it's like, you can blow up. Obviously, I record other artists, by the way. If you're interested and you're an artist, please hit me up. I can record you. I can engineer your song. I can produce for you. And I can give you vocal direction, as we like to call it. So
Yeah, man.
But you know what I'm saying, man.
It's deeper than rap.
Yep. Lyrical direction, consultation, brand consultation, video editing. What do I not do at this point? Am I talking my shit right now to the the audience?
Talk it, man. Talk it, man.
It's like, dude, like, and that's why I'm proud of this year, right? All the accolades of like the numbers. Yeah, I broke 10K. Cool. But like, look at the shit I can do now compared to last year when I was just figuring this out. And this taught me a lot in engineering. But then and like that spam video, as much as it's funny, like the amount of cuts and like zooms and putting all the words on the post. That took me 5 hours, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm proud of that. It's like that can do whatever in the comments and the likes, and like it did good, for where I'm at. But it's like I just want to make dope content where I enjoy watching it and sitting back and looking at it and be like, this is making me laugh. This is sick,
Yeah, man. Like I got a friend I work with, and we talk a lot about like the silent ego, and I used to like little things. Like I'd have a day where I had like a really dope fit on and just like nowhere to go. Be like, I really like need someone to see this. Like I need someone to like basically validate this, whatever. Like I need to go like get seen. I don't think it's a bad thing to want to whatever, but I would be like, I'd want it like really bad though to be seen. And it's like moments like that of like, it's okay to like it's okay if I stay on my path. I'll have other days where I look good and have a good fit on. Like I'll get seen, man. It'll be okay. Like I don't need to right now. Like it's okay.
I feel like that's a struggle of an artist. I feel like we're all to an extent attention seekers.
Yeah.
I'm definitely an attention seeker.
I think a lot of people get into performing because that is part of what comes with performing.
I'm still trying to figure that out in my own development. Like, why do I need attention so much? And how bad of a thing is it? And is it always bad? And I don't think it is always bad. It's just a matter of like the context.
We'll talk about it in therapy, my therapist and I, of like you like don't want to get rid of the validation all the way, I guess, because
we need it as humans, right?
To a degree, right? I don't know. It's a kind of an interesting topic because I'll listen to some things that kind of lead me to believe maybe you don't need it at all, and I'll listen to some things that are like, no, like we want it, but it's more like don't need it. Mm-hmm. Like getting it is cool, but if you don't get it, all right, you'll still be okay. I
got a question for you. Is there a difference between validation and support?
That's fucking dope.
You like that?
So my boy calls me yesterday. Shout out to Tom. And we're on the phone, and he's like, man, the way you're talking about things is like, I can tell like you love yourself. Like you really you've grown a lot the last few months, right?
Sure.
And I told him, I was like, the thing that makes me most proud about hearing that is if you never told me that, I'd still be really proud of myself.
Yeah.
But it feels amazing that you said that as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think maybe as you say that, I'm like, maybe that wasn't necessarily validation. Maybe it was like my brother is just supporting me, man. Because that's like, interesting, bro. Right. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, because I feel like it's different. In my mind, it's like, my family supports me. It's like support is like the non-needy version of validation. maybe.
It's hard.
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
deeper than rap.
It's deeper than rap, bro. Like us having conversations on the phone, that's support.
This is what I wanted to do. Like, I feel like we've been warming up, but now, like,
Now we're there.
yeah.
Now we're there.
I was like yawning and stuff, like, not because Zach is boring, but because working is.
Oh, because I'm boring. All right, dude. Whatever.
I didn't get that goulash, man.
You should have had some. It would have energized you.
What is goulash?
It's like ground beef mixed with green pepper,
Ooh.
onion, tomato sauce. It's it's like
chili.
It's kind of like chili. Honestly, that's an interesting. I never even thought about it.
Kind of sounds like chili.
It's very chili.
I really hope I'm
What is
not
the
like,
difference between goulash and chili?
I really hope we're not like offending like a culture right now.
No.
What culture is goulash from?
I don't know.
I gotta
Maybe
be
it's
honest,
just
I don't know.
Is it just American? I might be the
But
biggest
chili's
idiot.
wicked American.
Everybody hates me now. Sorry. Now I'm canceled because I don't know. We don't know. Well, we're both canceled because you don't know either. But I said it's American, and if it's not, but I could be right.
I need to know what the difference between chili and goulash is, man.
Well, that doesn't even matter, man. We're talking about validation and support right now.
So support is the non-needy. So someone support us. Letting us know that answer. But
Yes.
support the non-needy.
But then I feel like it's unfair to the word.
We're really getting into it.
But
man.
then I feel like it's unfair.
Shoe up here. Come on.
It's unfair to the word validation now. Now that I'm thinking about it, because like, I don't know. Is validation just a fully bad thing? Is it a no? We can't have validation. That's where I'm like, and right. And is it like support and validate? Like I'm making it right. Like support good, validation bad. Like is that too caveman-esque of me?
I think with validation, at least at this moment in time, it feels like my opinion is like being able to not get too high if you get it and don't get too low if you don't get it. Like be able to stay in your center. Be able to like.
Yeah, no, I
you
still,
know what I mean?
You know what? And I think about support just being deeper too. Like validation is like you walk into a Tim Hortons, you get a coffee, and the barista is like, gives you a wink or a smile or something. That's validation of like, okay, I'm doing something right. And we all need so like is that bad?
That builds confidence.
Yeah, but is that bad? Like it's bad to need it, but it's like,
yeah,
is it bad? Is it bad to want? Like I feel like everybody would want a cute barista to wink at them, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So in that sense, validation isn't bad. Maybe it's just not bad if you, because everybody's gonna want it to an extent. Right?
I think it's just like being, like not getting it being like detrimental to your mental health, though. You know what I mean? Like there's been so many times I've put out songs or videos or whatever. Yeah. And didn't get like the pat on the back for it, and that shit really rocked me mentally. Rather than being like, I really, really like this thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting to that place, like DJing, like making the DJ videos, even us doing the podcast. Like we just like talking to each other, and doing this shit. So it's like no matter what happens, like we'll just be like, well, it's fun to do that shit.
Yep.
We want to get some sort of feedback. I'd be lying if I said that we didn't to a degree, but like we're gonna keep doing it because we love it. Where I think there's been a lot of times in my younger life it was just deep. It was just deeper than rap.
And
man.
So you said on the album, I have a validation problem, right?
I did.
And I was gonna say it's beautiful because this piece of work was your way of getting away from that, and the whole purpose of you saying, nah, man, like it's not about what it does. I did this for me. I did this for my homies. They're gonna know. And I think you accomplished exactly what you needed to with it.
Yeah, man.
It's beautiful, man. This was the key to unlocking who you need to be, just as what mine. And that I want to talk about like the parallels of our works for what they both mean in our lives.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the awakening theory for me is like unlocking my true potential of who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
I feel like yours is the same shit. They're both our versions of unlocking ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. Like Michael is like, I feel like I was never me until maybe like 4 months ago. Like I would often like say to myself, I'm like, I gotta fix these things so that I can find like my one true love. And it kind of hit me like a couple weeks ago. I'm like, well, I'm finding them right now. It's me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
This is who I needed to find all along. It wasn't any woman or friend or anything. It was always the guy who, like, I heard something today that was like, we're not the voice in our head. I forgot what the exact quote was. It was Eckhart Tolle, who was like Kendrick's therapist or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, it was like basically like we're deeper than the voice in our head. Like that voice in your head, like I can control him because that's not me. Like I'm me. The voice in my head is the voice in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So just a lot of good learning and shit like that. A lot of good, man, just being I think being alone, and it doesn't mean being alone like, oh, you need to go break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yep.
But like literally doing things, and it doesn't mean you have to go to the movies alone. Like just 30 minutes, like do something alone. Like
Yep.
I can only speak for me, but being alone has been, it definitely was like what I needed.
Dude.
My situation is obviously my situation,
Yo,
but
it's the difference between being alone and being lonely. And like, right? And dude, you're gonna fuck up your mic.
nah,
if you
that
keep
shit
doing
is, I remember when you told me that, and that shit is fucking dope.
Yeah, man, and that's kind of the thing for me is I'm still trying to learn how to not be lonely in those moments. You know, I think we all are. I think we're so. I mean, we got this easy accessibility of like the world. Anytime you feel lonely, there's a cure for that in your pocket. Just take it out and scroll on social media. Talk to who you need to talk to.
You can get validated in seconds right now.
Easily. I feel
you can get away. You can find it, and it's like
it's a drug almost,
yeah,
bro.
man. Like
it's kind of potent out
being
here.
able to. I'm learning as I go. Like being able to fight that feeling and do it yourself is so empowering, man. It feels so fucking.
It feels
good.
so good.
Going for runs and not having music. Not saying you need to do it every time. Like I seen some dudes be like, working out without music or working out with music is cheating. Like, nah, bro. Like
That's
listen,
what David
music. Yeah,
David Goggins
it is
said
him.
that.
It is
Yeah.
Goggins.
Oh my gosh.
Goggins, you crazy mother.
Yeah. It's like whatever.
Nah, shout out to Goggins. I respect
I mean,
Goggins, man.
old dude.
He's amazing.
He's a different animal.
He's amazing. You
I
don't
mean,
have to be David Goggins.
No, you don't have to be.
But like doing some shit like that every now and then. Like I went for a run in the rain the other day, no headphones, and I'm like laughing at the end because I'm like, I'm a bad dude, man.
Yeah.
I'm a bad dude. Like I can do this shit.
Yeah.
It was like cold rain, and at the end I got extra crazy, and I took my jacket off.
And everybody else would have been miserable as shit. And here's Mike O'Leary just like ripping off the shirt like the Hulk.
Like,
well, not the shirt, the jacket. You're right. Understood, but still.
But I'm not gonna do that every day. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll get to a point where I want to do that. But like doing those things to remind myself, like you can do this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I one thing that I found, like, it's patience. Like, I'll pee without looking at my phone.
Yeah.
I'll go to the bathroom without taking my phone in there, and it's like that shit's way harder than it should sound, but that shit's really fucking hard.
Yeah. And I think it all echoes back, man, to doing music when you're alone, right? Like to do the DJ shit, to do your hobbies, because it's not being alone. It's being alone. It's not being lonely. And I feel like when I'm actually alone to the fullest extent and like doing my work, it's when it is like me sitting in here by myself crafting something. And I feel like that's why I love it so much, is because it's just me accepting myself in the deepest sense. And that's what
What's like the best thing you've learned about you all year?
Oh, the best thing I learned about me is I am not gonna stop no matter what. Like, I feel like every time I'm on the phone with you and we're talking about another content piece that I had, and me just being like, thought this was gonna blow up, didn't blow up, and I'm pissed. But that little moment I have, and then I just go hard again, and then I just drop another one, and then I just drop it. Like I've become so consistent in myself, and I take all that content to strip it down to me. It's like I've taken the focus away from all these other distractions, whether it's women, whether it's me just chilling, doing whatever, and like not feeling confident enough to step to the things that I truly want because I'm worried about what people are thinking. It's like,
Yeah, hell yeah.
I just want to
There's
do
a
this for me, and I don't
beauty.
give a fuck. And then the world responds to that, man. Like everybody coming to me like, man, you're so courageous, and I don't even, like you don't even realize it because you're just like, I'm just being real and accepting myself.
Yeah.
It's crazy what that does.
Yeah, man. There's a beauty in
And I still got so
Just-
much farther to go, but
getting back up to the plate, man.
yeah.
Making my bed every morning has been really big for me. Or like I try to like meditate as soon as I wake up,
Nice.
and like doing that shit is like, it's just, I don't know. There's something about it that's just like, all right, this isn't gonna like fix me today, but if
Yeah.
I keep doing, if I keep like, and just, you know what I mean. And same deal with you, like with the videos, like this one didn't work. Like, all right, I gotta do that shit again. Like, I gotta do that shit again. I gotta make my bed again.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking meditate again.
I think we both share that validation thing. Like sometimes something will trigger me of like, damn, I really need someone to like tell me I'm pretty. But like tell me,
yeah,
oh, this is dope. What you're doing is dope. You're dope, whatever that may be. And I feel like I'm also proud, and I feel like we've both been on this journey of like, man, this was like really cool, and I'm just happy that I just keep going. I don't need that. I don't need this person. I feel that moment, right? Still feel that moment where I'm triggered and I'm like, I need this. I feel it every day in certain parts of it. But I'm so aware of it. I don't like catch on to the bait
yeah.
as quickly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, one of the guys I work with, he texted me a couple weeks ago, and I woke up to it, and it was just beautiful, man. And he's like, awareness is the key to control.
Hey.
And John, what up, Johnny P?
Yeah, you
that-
told me about that one.
That one was just hit, man.
Johnny,
That
I
joint
already
hit.
knew that. I already knew that before this conversation.
John, that joint hit, man.
It hit him deep.
It's deeper than rap.
It is.
It's deeper than rap. But yeah, it is,
Yeah.
man. Just being aware, you're not gonna get this shit right. Like one thing too, to the point of like getting back up to bat, making these videos, making these songs, like you're just not gonna stop learning about yourself to the day we die. One of my boys is telling me, like 80's telling me, like he's like, yeah, my dad told me he's like trying to like find himself, whatever. His dad's like almost 70, and that shit really stuck with me because I'm like, yeah, man, like this shit is a journey forever. Like it's not like,
Yeah.
I feel like as kids they kind of sell us like, yeah, you get to like 30 or 40 and you must like
You figure it-
stop,
nah,
like you
yeah.
just are who you are. It's like, nah, man, like this shit is like gonna go
Mhm.
on forever. So like setting these building blocks as early as you can of like,
huge.
and maybe they're not always gonna be the building. That's like, okay. I feel like we're also getting away from like being able to change is like, you can't do that. It's like, bro, yeah, you can change.
You
Like
can change.
I'm making my bed and meditating and shit like that today. Like I hope I keep doing it. I
And
hope
that's the
maybe
thing.
I'll find different ways though. I don't know.
The only way to change is just to keep putting in that work.
Yup.
And people don't get that. People think like, I had an epiphany moment. I figured it out. It's magical. Oh my gosh, I know it now. And that's when you have that pitfall of like, you knew it for that moment.
That's
and
because you're not being
you're
like
not
patient.
Putting it into practice.
Yeah, I felt like that so many times,
Patience,
especially
putting in
after
the-
like a breakup, man. You'll like hear like a sentence in a fucking YouTube video,
Yeah.
and you're like, "That's it, I got it now." And it's like,
Yeah.
no, because you're not accepting the journey. Like
Yep,
you got to
yep.
accept like this shit is a road,
And
man.
it's the conscious mind accepts it, but that doesn't mean you've accepted it. You got to internalize that shit where it's become second nature, habitual. Your body just understands that because the body and mind have to be on the same wavelength. I feel like that takes some time, and there is no shortcut.
no.
There is no shortcut in a world where everything is a shortcut with social media and like life hacks and like, you get this app just to do things quicker. There is no app for that. That just like will allow you to change.
Come on, bro.
And there
that-
won't ever be, bro.
No, there's not.
There won't
I
ever
hope
be.
there never is.
Yeah, I hope there not. Well, that's the thing, dude. It's just
I hope there never is, because back to
Yeah.
circle back to the first thing we talked about, like this year and my life this year that I've gone through, like everything. And but yeah, to circle back to where we even started with the convo, but like everything that I've seen this year, like, yeah, man, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change like all the moments I doubted myself and everything, and Even just accepting, like, I'm assuming, like, I'll probably have some moments I doubt myself going forward for the rest of my life. Like, it's just gonna happen at times, but
there's always something different, a different curveball, a different person that falls in and out of your life. Some person that you've known your whole life is no longer in it in some way. It's just there's always going to be change. Change is the only constant. It'd be foolish for us to think we got to figure out, because there's internal and there's external. We have it figured out internally, and then all of a sudden something external just rocks our whole stable world, which is never stable. And I think that's the lie we tell ourselves, is like we're going to get to a point where it's like, we did it. It's roses. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, think about Logic, Russ, not to, I'm bringing it back to rap because it's deeper than rap, but I want to keep that theme of, like, you have these guys that say they figured it out and they're doing so good, then all of a sudden you see, like, this downfall happen and you're like, I guess they didn't have it figured out. You know what I mean? Because you never fucking do. And the moment you think you do and you're on top, that's the moment that you're going to fall unless you stay on your shit. But there's been some guys that have been really graceful with it, like Cole, Kendrick, Tyler. There's a lot of artists that keep getting better.
I look at Nas, man.
You look at Nas.
I love Nas,
dude.
Man.
50 what? How is he 50 yet? He's close to it,
or is he a little over 50?
Which is unreal.
The Nas thing inspires me a lot because it shows, like,
we're gonna be Nas.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck that.
100%. The Nas shit is so inspiring because it's like there is no age limit in anything. Like, just do dope shit. Keep getting better.
I wish Andre 3 Stacks knew that.
Andre I love Dre, man.
He's my favorite.
He's really, when I'm going through something, listening to him and Big Boy, because that's a different podcast that we got to go into about giving him his flowers. But But listening to him and Big Boy, man, like, there's something about them that is, like, cleansing for the soul. Like, they sound so together and centered, and I don't know, man. It does something to me mentally that makes me feel like, yeah, man, I can do this shit. Like, you listen to, like you were telling me, AT Aliens is your favorite project of theirs.
It's not. Oh, I forgot I mixed it around. Where is it now? Is it up? Oh man, it might not be up right now. Dude, is that crazy?
But that project though, like,
it's behind.
There's
it's
a
behind
joint.
Good Kid, Mad City.
There's a joint called 13th Floor, Growing, and something about that song. It's just like the way they talking it. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm good. Like, I'm gonna be all right.
That's
like,
it, man.
Aquemini, there's a song Liberation. It's like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, there's just so much. So, you know what, man? It's like things don't get easier. Shout out to Thomas for sending me this a while ago. Things don't get easier, but you learn how to do hard better. And that is the dope thing about getting older. I think age gets shit on to a degree. Like, for some reason, somewhere down the line, ages and ages ago, getting older, getting the lines in your face. And I have a bar on there about, like, and Need You Now, like, I ain't talking about the lines in my face, the lines that'll trace me back to the way that I was.
Never even caught that, bro.
The lines.
That's what I'm saying, dude. This is.
Yeah, man.
Come on, bro. Give yourself some kudos. That shit's
somewhere
crazy.
down the line, like, aging has gotten, like gray hair. Like, so many guys in the barber shop be telling me, like, oh, I'm gonna dye my shit, and I'm not there yet. So maybe it's easy for me to say because I do have, like, dark hair still. But, like, dude, like, that shit is wisdom, man. Like, I wouldn't trade this for the youth for a second. Like going through this shit has been really tough. Like, just growing up, like, just growing. Anybody that's 29, like, you know, like, your 20s, like, you fuck up a lot. You fuck up a lot. And you should fuck up, man. Fucking up is dope. Like, the dope thing about life is I don't know what's going to happen in 20 minutes. The trash thing about life is I don't know what's going to happen in 20 minutes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's a beautiful struggle. Nah, man. You said everything right there.
And, man, I just feel like my 29th year,
my face.
when I turned 29, I knew it was going to be important. And I just know, like, I had to shed a lot of shit I was carrying with me childhood-wise that I needed to learn about myself. Like, even, like, going back to older relationships than the one I split from this year, going back to other ones, reflecting and being like, I didn't even heal from this part of this, so
Yep.
I carried it to here. And
So I gotta ask
Yeah,
you. I
man.
gotta ask you this. I'm gonna bring it back to the question in the beginning. Where does this put you for 2023? Where do you see yourself going? Where do you want to be?
I think the dope part is I don't know.
You don't know.
And I would have told you, a couple months ago, I remember being on the phone with you being like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what my goal is.
Mhm.
And I still don't really know all the way. I feel like I'm getting closer.
Sure.
But I love it, though. Like, every day I'm finding the things that really make me tick. Like, I got this, like, chair a couple weeks ago, and I put it in, like, my studio room. And that's, like, what I've been loving in the morning is, like, going to this chair. My cats are crawling over me. I'm like adding songs to like a DJ playlist for that weekend. And I'm like, that right now is like my goal is like get to that morning.
So your goal is acceptance and gratitude in your life and the curveball that it throws and just being, like,
Consistency too has
Yeah.
been my goal. Right now, consistency, like doing
So
the
you-
things
that's-
that
and
make me
I'm
feel
not even
like
saying. So I'm not even saying career goals.
Yeah.
Your goals are more personal based. Your personal.
Yeah.
And if you're getting to those, then your 2023 is going to be successful.
Yeah, I think the career goal thing is going to unfold. I'm seeing a few things come to the light right now. But as far as right now, yeah, like
Yep.
just being consistent, like doing the things, like walking for me all summer was really big. And I'm like, it's getting colder, but like I don't want to stop walking. That shit was really good for me.
That's it.
So like just those little things, just chipping away at those little things, really building those habits.
Yeah.
I think 2023 for both of us is just I've known it, man. And I still think like one of your big goals this year has been getting the 3 vids to 10K views on TikTok. I
Got
just
1 of
think
3.
something is going to break through before the end of the year. And that's like one thing, like let's say something about next year right now on camera
Yep.
that we're going to look back and be like, damn, that shit really happened. Like say something for yourself.
I'm
you
gonna
know?
at least triple, if not quadruple, the being on people's top 10 listener or top 10.
Dude, and you got
artists.
a lot. You were on a lot.
Yeah.
You were on a lot today. Today's
wanna-
the day the Spotify rap drop
Yep.
for people.
I want to
wondering.
triple it or quadruple it, and I feel like even that is lowballing it. I want 1 million streams on a track, man. And that's ambitious. That scares me because that's like something is like, do I fully believe it at this point? I feel like I have so much farther to go, but like the amount I know in content and social media and grinding on it, it's like I feel like I gotta get to a point where I truly believe that I can do that. You know, I kind of
Yeah.
want to be able to say like I've done that. I just really want to be able to say that, just to be like, there's like I know how this shit works, you know, and I still feel like I don't know how that shit works with Spotify and streaming services. So I really want to figure that out next year, and I think it's a part of that grind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
It's a part of that grind.
I
But
think you're gonna get. You got 10K this year. I really think it's gonna be 100K. I really do, and I really think 1 million is not that ridiculous for you. Some of these songs in the stash.
yeah, I know. I feel like, but and that's the reason I say is like they are, to me, they are 1 million stream songs. I believe in my music, so why not speak it into existence and allow myself to keep thinking about that so I can try to figure out that path
Yeah,
towards that. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
dude, I love you, man.
This
I
was awesome.
couldn't be in the place I'm at right now
Me either.
without you, man.
You're
Couldn't
my-
do it.
You're
Couldn't
my
be
brother.
going into 2023 feeling like this. Couldn't be going into my 30s feeling like this.
Get yourself a brother like Mike O'Leary.
God, come on,
Ladies and
man.
gentlemen.
Come on, man.
That's it, man. I think. Anything else we want to say?
It's just deeper than rap,
Shout
man.
out Possibilities, Bianca. Shout out.
B, all my little mamas over there. You know what I mean?
all his little mamas. That's it.
Um,
That's.
I'm trying to think who else we got to shout. Peaks Coffee, man. Keep doing your
Shout out
thing. Salt
Peaks.
City Coffee. Keep
Salt
doing your
City,
thing.
man. Shout out all the coffee spots. Shout out 80, man.
That should have been the first person.
That should have
to
been
get
the
shouted
first
out,
person,
man.
bro.
It's my brother, man. He loves me, man.
Yep.
And
I need to
love
shout out
him.
Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, good
I need to
cat,
shout out
man.
thank you, Ethan. I need to shout out Nazi. I need to shout out Levi. I need to shout out the whole Black Rose family.
Jordan, I love you, man.
We can
Dylan,
go on
I'm
for
proud of you, brother.
hours. Shout out Mike Rotundo, my boy from ever.
Oh, man. Mama, I love you.
Oh.